Good morning, America. The new twist in the Jussie Smollett case. Overnight, Jussie Smollett seen leaving Chicago as the FBI now reviews why prosecutors dropped those charges against the Empire star. Did his family use their heavyweight political connections? We go one-on-one with the state's attorney as Smollett's team speaks out.
Breaking overnight, a deadly shooting rampage in Seattle, a gunman opening fire, going on a random spree, killing 2, injuring others, including a hero bus driver who managed to steer his passengers to safety. Now he's speaking out on GMA this morning.
The major judgment in that weed killer case, a jury now awarding $80 million to a man who says Roundup caused his cancer. Now the thousands of lawsuits pending around the country.
Close call, a speeding semi slamming into a school bus, just narrowly missing 2 children running to safety. The outrage this morning.
Heiress or scam artist, the woman going before a judge, accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from friends, hotels, and banks to live a life of luxury in Manhattan.
Overnight, just one winning ticket sold in Wisconsin for the 3rd largest jackpot ever, worth more than $768 million, and where 9 other tickets worth at least $1 million were sold.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Amy picked up something in the lyrics. I want to.
She was right. I just heard it.
You heard it? I heard it. Yes. Great to have you with us on this Thursday, and it's a thankful Thursday for whoever has that Powerball ticket.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Someone in New Berlin, Wisconsin has just won more than $768 million. They are the first Powerball jackpot winners of 2019, and wow, that's a pretty nice prize to wake up to.
You know, a lot of people wake up and say, I hope there's somebody in my family. I don't know anybody in Wisconsin. but we're going to have much more on that ahead. We're going to begin this morning with the very latest on the Jussie Smollett case. The FBI is now reviewing prosecutors' decision to drop charges against the Empire actor. This comes as the state attorney defends the move. ABC's Alex Perez in Chicago with the very latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Michael. That's right. Even though she's under fire, the state attorney is defending her office's decision. She says that many cases similar to this one with similar charges end the same way. Empire actor Jussie Smollett is spotted leaving Chicago just one day after charges against him were dropped. This morning, federal and local authorities are openly questioning the prosecutor's handling of Smollett's case. He was accused of staging his own attack back in January. The FBI is now reviewing that bombshell decision to dismiss charges, and overnight, the National District Attorneys Association slamming the Cook County office, saying the case in Chicago illustrates a point that the rich are treated differently, the politically connected receive favorable treatment, adding no one is above the law. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx defending her office's decision to drop all 16 felony counts against Smollett, instead making him forfeit his $10,000 bond and partake in community service.
Our office handles cases like this, class 4 felonies, disorderly conduct, in this way often. Many of them with similar outcomes. That is in no way an indication by this office that he is not guilty of the crime that he was accused of.
But this morning, more questions raised as to whether the Smollett family used heavyweight political connections to thwart prosecution. Text and email messages obtained by ABC station WLS show that when Smollett was still considered a victim by authorities, Tina Chen, former chief of staff to Michelle Obama, reached out to Kim Foxx on behalf of the Smollett family, saying they have concerns about the investigation. In the exchanges, Foxx seen trying to get the case turned over to the FBI. Texting Chen, I make no guarantees, but I'm trying.
Please welcome Tina Chen and Journey Smollett.
Chen is friendly with the Smollett family, appearing at this Time's Up event last May with Smollett's younger sister, Journey. Chen defending her communications with Fox, telling us in part, my sole activity was to put the chief prosecutor in the case in touch with an alleged victim's family who had concerns about how the investigation was being characterized in public.
Because the family and others had raised concerns about information that was steadily coming out about this case in a way that typically we don't see in a typical hate crime investigation.
After Smollett was named the suspect, Fox recused herself from the case.
unlike other victims that I talk to, they don't often go from victims to suspect.
As the controversy grows, Smollett's attorney firing back overnight, saying, "We will not try this case in a court of public opinion. There is no case to try. The case was dismissed. We should allow Mr. Smollett to move on with his life as a free citizen." And at this point, under the judge's orders, many investigative reports and other court documents remain under seal and will not be released. Amy?
All right, Alex Perez, thank you. Let's bring in ABC News chief legal analyst Dan Abrams. And Dan, we just heard from the president, President Trump tweeting this is an embarrassment to the nation as the DOJ and the FBI investigate this case. We just heard there from Kim Foxx defending this decision. Did she clarify anything?
Not really. I mean, all she's saying is that the outcome is similar. That was an interesting word she chose there. In other cases like this, Class 4 felonies. Yes, it's true that in other Class 4 felonies for disorderly conduct, people don't end up getting prison time. Right. But that is different than what happened here. Here you had a 16-count grand jury indictment that was simply thrown away with no acceptance of responsibility. And that's what makes this different. I don't think you're going to find a lot of cases where you're going to say, hey, apples to apples. In so many of these cases where they have multi-count indictments, they just simply throw them out.
Right, and Fox also even saying that prosecutors said they believed they could prove Smollett's guilt. He wasn't required to apologize, admit to any wrongdoing, and everything's sealed. How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, the sealing part is also maddening, right? Because, you know, the public has a right to understand something about what happened here. Now, the police did release certain documents, which seems to indicate, again, that the brothers who were at the heart of this offered an account that the police believed about what had happened there.
They're not even being charged. No one's being charged in this case.
It's not just that they're not being charged, it's that the police believe them. I mean, the police believe the account that they gave was the true one, and that Jussie Smollett's was not.
And now the FBI and the DOJ are investigating.
And I don't know that much is going to come out of that, though. I think that's just a review.
What could come out of this?
Well, look, I mean, I think they're looking to see if there was any corruption involved. And I don't know that they're going to be able to find corruption as opposed to just ineptitude.
There's just so
Is that
many
just the way
questions.
things are done in Chicago, too? I mean, that's what people are saying, right?
I don't think people should lose faith in the system. This doesn't always happen.
Never happened, because you've been answering these questions all week. You said you've never seen it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
All right, Amy, thank you. Now to that breaking news overnight, a deadly shooting rampage in Seattle. A gunman opening fire, killing 2 people, injuring 2 others, including that hero bus driver who managed to stay calm, get his passengers to safety. David Curley is in Seattle with the very latest. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Robin. Those 2 victims and the alleged shooter were brought here to this hospital for treatment as we are learning more about that bus driver who may have saved even more lives.
Possible shooting, Sandpoint Way northeast 115th Street. A male running with a gun.
Details this morning about the chaotic shooting and rampage and the attempted getaway in this North Seattle neighborhood, which has left 2 dead, 2 others critically wounded.
He was walking down Sandpoint Way, just firing at anything.
All the violence starting around 4 in the afternoon in the Seattle neighborhood north of downtown known as Lake City. The 33-year-old gunman, reportedly from the neighborhood, attempting to carjack a 57-year-old woman, shooting her before she veers off the road.
He's shooting in the direction of a Metro bus.
The gunman then firing on a nearby county bus, striking the 53-year-old driver, Eric Stark, in the torso.
Did like a 2-second assessment of my injuries and figured, well, I can breathe, I can think, I can see. Okay, we're getting out of here. I got to get these people out of here.
Stark, wounded, alerts authorities before he heroically turns the bus around and drives his 12 passengers to safety. The gunman, apparently looking to escape, carjacks another vehicle, opening the car door, fatally shooting the driver point blank just as officers are arriving on the scene.
The suspect then just closed the vehicle door, drove off. Officers pursued him, and that suspect then ran head-on into another vehicle that was driving northbound, killing the driver of that car.
It's going to be a red Toyota Prius 120 in Sandpoint.
Police break the window out of that getaway car, successfully negotiating the surrender. The gunman crawling out of the car as police swarm the vehicle, taking him into custody. Now, the bus driver being treated here in this hospital, as you saw, and quite the statement from him. The suspect, even though he was treated, will be in court later today to face charges. Robin, the big question,
Why?
Yeah, why? Why? That's a question we ask often, David. Thank you so very much. This next story that we have coming up, I've been involved with Special Olympics for many years. Just got back from Abu Dhabi, where the World Games being held, 7,500 athletes from all over the world, such determined athletes, and so this type of story just really pulls at the heartstrings.
Well, it pulls at the heartstrings. It makes you outraged.
Yes, it does.
And the outrage is growing this morning over that White House plan to slash funding for Special Olympics. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is heading back to Capitol Hill today for another round of questioning, and our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, has more. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Michael. Sparks are going to fly up here when Education Secretary Betsy DeVos comes back. She'll face a Senate committee this time to defend that Trump administration proposal to kill all federal support for Special Olympics, a program that has really put people living with intellectual disabilities in a new light on the world stage, and the federal government has supported it for decades. Earlier this week, Secretary DeVos faced tough questioning from House members about this administration proposal to end all of that.
Mr. Pocan, let me just say again, we had to make some difficult decisions with this budget.
Again, this is a question on how many kids, not about the budget.
I don't know the number of kids.
It's 272,000 kids. That's all. I'll answer it for you. That's okay. No problem. It's 272,000 kids
Special Olympics
that are affected.
Is an awesome organization, one that is well supported by the philanthropic sector as well.
Sure. So it's only $17.6 million in a $4.75 trillion federal budget. And Secretary DeVos says this is not a federal program. It's a charity. And the Education Department funds all kinds of programs for special needs kids. But the administration did find money, $20 million, for one charity, the Jack Nicklaus Children's Hospital in Miami. Jack Nicklaus, of course, a golfing buddy of President Trump. Robin?
Duly noted. And it's not just kids, young adults also involved in Special Olympics. All right, Terry, thank you so much. Now to the demand for answers after a fifth grader died following a fight in her South Carolina classroom. Parents are, as you can imagine, outraged, asking how this could happen. Steve Osunsami is outside that school in South Carolina. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the growing memorial for the child who was killed here, and parents are upset, wondering how in the world this could have happened. Getting details is tough because both of the children involved are minors, but families want to know, where were the teachers in all of this? About an hour outside Charleston, a family of a fifth grader is preparing for their daughter's funeral after she was seriously hurt in a classroom fight with another girl Monday. And police say the deadly fight didn't involve a weapon. The girl's death has left parents in this community absolutely shocked.
My mind can't wrap around it.
This is a child. She's in an elementary school. This should not be an issue, and it shouldn't be an issue in any school.
According to the sheriff's incident report, when first responders got to the school, the wounded fifth grader, 10-year-old Renaya Wright, was in the nurse's station and was unconscious but breathing. They then rushed the girl to the hospital where she was barely holding on and remained unresponsive. On Wednesday morning, she died. Her mother shared her grief on Facebook. As of 9:39, my baby girl has gained her wings. The Colleton County School District released a statement saying that Renaya was a wonderful student. She loved to write and loved being a big sister. Our entire school district is saddened by this event.
It has hit our community like a Cat 5 hurricane.
Parents, teachers, and administrators are now wondering how violence great enough to kill could take place in a classroom. The other student has been suspended indefinitely. We don't know, Amy, how or why this happened. Amy.
It is so heartbreaking. Steve Osunsami, thank you. Now to new developments in the college admissions scandal. The former Yale soccer coach accused of taking bribes is due in court in Boston today, where he is expected to plead guilty. ABC's Whit Johnson is there with all the latest. Good morning, Whit.
Amy, good morning to you. Rudy Meredith went from Hall of Fame soccer coach to federal informant after he was busted about a year ago. The Yale institution ultimately becoming a key player in this college cheating scandal.
This morning, the coach at the center of what prosecutors call the largest college admission scam ever is set to appear in court. Rudy Meredith, the former women's soccer coach at Yale for more than 20 years, expected to plead guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud, facing possible jail time, and ordered to forfeit nearly $900,000 he received in alleged bribes. But Meredith's cooperation, authorities say, was crucial to unraveling the nationwide scheme and leading to its accused mastermind, Rick Singer. According to court documents, Singer paid Meredith $400,000 for recruiting a student who he falsely described as the co-captain of a prominent club soccer team in Southern California, despite knowing that the applicant did not even play competitive soccer. In a separate incident, the documents state that Meredith personally met with the father of an applicant in a Boston hotel, asking for $450,000 for his child's acceptance into Yale. That meeting recorded by the FBI.
And earlier this week, Yale announced it was rescinding the admission of one student connected to this investigation. Robin?
All right, thank you. Now to the luckiest person in America. Someone is waking up $768.4 million richer.
And sleep it in for the rest of their life.
You got that right, Michael. One single winning ticket sold in New Berlin, Wisconsin for the Powerball jackpot, the third largest in U.S. history. Hillary Mintz from our Milwaukee station, WISN, is very excited. Good morning, Hillary.
That's right, Robin. It is an exciting morning here in New Berlin, Wisconsin, because somebody bought the winning jackpot ticket. They matched all numbers, and they are $768 million richer. It may have been sold at a gas station just like this. We don't know yet, and we also don't know who the winner is. They have 180 days to claim the prize, and in Wisconsin, you cannot remain anonymous. Guys.
All right, Hillary. We're not sure if it was that gas station.
It could be.
Just like it could be, but we are thanks to her. Whoever has that ticket isn't the only lucky person. 9 other tickets sold across America worth at least $1 million. 9 other tickets, at least $1 million.
Oh,
Not too bad, not
so
too shabby.
other people may not have won the jackpot, but there's still a chance you won
But they
somebody.
won them at gas stations just like those.
Oh, you know, we're going to move on now.
That made TJ laugh so hard.
Yes. We're going to get to TJ right now because we're talking March Madness, man. Sweet 16, it gets underway tonight. Only one man still has the perfect bracket, and that's not the only thing that is making history, and you're here to explain it all to us.
But it's kind of been a historically dramatic free tournament, right? We haven't seen the big upsets. The result of that has been ratings are up. So why is that? Let me try to explain why that's the case. Take a look at your bracket here. If you look right here, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All top seeds. You go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. First time in a long time, but only the second time in history, all of the top seeds. And if you look at those teams, Michigan State, Duke, North Carolina, these are the blue bloods, right? These are the big schools that a lot of people have interest in. The only option possibly for a big upset now would be 12-seed Oregon, even though a big school from a big conference. They could take out Virginia. This would be only the second time that a 12 seed has made it to the Elite Eight. So that's our only hope for a Cinderella, guys.
Well, you're talking about speaking of first-time evers, but what about Mr. Perfect Bracket guy?
Yes, Greg Nigel, we introduced you to him. First time ever that someone's made it this far with a perfect bracket in history. He's going to the game out, the Sweet 16, so he might see his perfect bracket burst in person.
I tweeted about you using Telestrator. That was it? That was,
wow.
That was the extent of your Telestrator?
What I was going to say, well, a Telestrator like this, actually, is what I meant to use.
Okay. Between that and that gas station, let's move on.
All right, let's take a look at a terrifying close call. A semi caught on camera. They're slamming into a school bus. Look at that. Just as children were departing, the investigation this morning into how that could have happened.
And the surprise turn in the case of that young woman who pushed her friend off a bridge. We hear from her family on GMA. But first, let's get to Ginger.
And let's get to the Rainy Cities, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
So recently, my son's band was signed by a record label.
A record deal? Unbelievable. Whenever we're about to get on a stage for a huge audience, I always give my dad like a FaceTime kind of moment. You see the crowd, you see the emotion. You know, he has that experience for the first time with me, and it's really important to me. I created a rock star.
The best network is even better when you share it. Buy the latest iPhone for you and get iPhone XR on us for someone else. And get Apple Music on us too, only on Verizon.
Hey, nothing foul about today's forecast. Yeah, you get it, right? It's opening day. First pitch forecast today, 57 degrees with a few high clouds. Temperatures will top out at about 62 by the time you head home. So it is going to be a great day. Sunshine for today, some clouds build tomorrow, but temperatures with southwesterly winds will get up to 72, maybe some sprinkles north and west of D.C. Saturday, fantastic for the Kite Festival, 75 with a breeze out of the southwest, and then rain expected on Sunday, the high 59.
We'll be right back.
You can do this. Grab those command picture hanging strips and let's make it work. They're tool-free and they hold strong. Oh, rustic chic.